The minute I sat down to film my intro, my air conditioner came on. First world problem, I know. I'm really grateful to have an air conditioner because we live in a part of the United States which is quite hot. Anyway, today I'm going to be playing with a new palette in my collection. I have used this once or twice before, and those looks will be featured in my next While I Was Out. But this is the Lure palette from Unearthly Cosmetics. This is the first palette that I've had from this brand, and I knew that they were probably great because they're so well reviewed, they're so hyped, they're a very hot brand right now in the indie community. But this color story speaks to my soul. I just think it's so creative, it's so interesting, it's so yummy. It's so yummy, and I want to play with it more. Of course, that's the whole point, right? We do this because it's fun, it's creative expression, it's a good time. So this palette has a couple of very shifty shades, and I would like to play with most of them today. I think I'm not going to do these two, and I might not use this matte either, but I think I'll probably use the rest of the colors. That's my plan. I also have a palette pull-in. If you're not sure what that is, it's a little panning type project I've set for myself where I use a random generator to pull a palette from my collection, and then I start working through that palette in consecutive order. So I'm now on this shade here, Sea Foam, and I think that's going to pair nicely with the green shimmer in the Lure palette. So, oh, I just realized they're both called Lure. So this is lure, as in a siren luring sailors to their death, or a fishing lure, and this L-O-R-E is folklore. For example, the shade names Minotaur, Sphinx, Medusa, Griffin, things like that. I'm excited to play more with this palette. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. Okay, so I think I'm going to start with the shade Fawn. I know that there's a difference between Fawn here and Centaur. Centaur is obviously much more pigmented. It's like a vermilion tone, and Fawn is a lighter yellowy orange. It also has some sparkles in it. I don't know if it's going to be like the ColourPop. I don't think they're satins, but like the mattes with sparkle. But I'm going to start this here and see how light I can keep it, really. I had a look at my subscriber count the other day, and at the time that I'm filming, I've just gone past 750, I think 753, something like that. It's gone up a couple more in the last few days, and it's funny because it was stuck for quite some time at like 730 or 740-ish, and then it jumped a little bit. And I've had a plan for a while. Now let's take Centaur. I'm keeping Fawn really light. Let's take Centaur. I've had a plan for a little while to do an 800 subscriber video. I did one at 500, and I thought, well, hey, if I ever make it to 800, I will do a video for that. So I was thinking, what should I do for my 800 subscriber count video? Look at this. This is kind of like it's kind of a tomato orange. I mean, they're definitely different. Definitely different. I think that for that video, what I'll do is follow my very first tutorial, which is pretty terrible. My first videos are awful. For one thing, it took me several uploads to realize that I had to turn my camera horizontal because the YouTube viewing platform is a horizontal format, except for like shorts, you know, and then you have your camera turned vertically to create those. But I didn't think about that, and I didn't realize that until I had uploaded a couple of videos, and they're bad. But I don't want to get rid of them because honestly, they show part of a journey, and I think it's valuable to share and show parts of our journey because all of us are on a journey in some ways. I'm not going to be precious and say the journey of life. Yeah, I get it, I know. But what I mean is we're all on a journey of improvement and progression and self-development. Now I'm taking a smaller brush and, wait, not yet. I've got a napkin on my lap. I like to wipe off my brush sometimes if I need to blend out a little bit more. Anyway, smaller brush now into black, which is called Cerberus. I don't know that one. I know all the rest. Serpent, Minotaur, Sphinx, Fawn, Basilisk, Centaur, Griffin, Medusa. I don't know what Cerberus is. I'll have to look that up. That's a nice black. Let's go slight detour back into Centaur. I'm losing this shade, so I'm gonna intensify it a little bit more this direction. Okay. Sorry, I feel like I've lost my train of thought.
2,000 years later.
Okay, I was talking about the journey of life. I was talking about how everyone is learning and growing. That is what life's about. It's about learning, growing, developing, changing, improving. And so I don't want to delete my earliest videos because I don't want to lose that. I really love, I mean, everybody loves a before and after, a weight loss transformation or a makeup look before, just rolled out of bed and then bam, Hollywood ready. You know, we all love before and after. We love to see the contrast. We love to see the change. We love to see what can be done. It gives us a glimpse of potential, a glimpse of hope, a glimpse of, oh, you know, I could do that too. Maybe I can lose weight, or maybe I can learn how to do something well, you know? So I like to keep my old videos around because, well, for that reason. And I'm not gonna try to delete my past. I mean, those videos are very much a part of this journey. So I think that for an 800 count celebration video, I might try to follow like the earliest tutorial that I can find on my channel. Way back. It was probably like a Take Me Back to Brazil palette from BH Cosmetics. I don't know, I have to find it. I have to go back and look. At this point, I've uploaded hundreds and hundreds of videos. And I've been on YouTube, I think about, let's see, my middle child was a baby. So she's 3.5 now, almost. That's how long I've been doing eyeshadow. I jumped into making videos pretty early, which is why my first ones are terrible. Okay, so now I want to take this pink shimmer. It's called Sphinx. I'm going to try it with a flat brush. I always like to see how a shimmer shade picks up and lays down with a flat brush. I mentioned this in a previous video because I don't mind using my finger at all. It doesn't bother me. My nails are short. It's not a problem. The only concern I have with using my finger to pick up shimmers is hard pan. I don't want the oils from my fingers to create a hard pan on my shadow and then my shimmer is not nearly as good. So I just like to see if they work okay with the brush. It's for science. So this is dry, and I think I'll put this on the middle of my lid. I mean, it's pretty. It's very pretty, but now I think I'll try with my finger. Ooh, look at that with my lip color. Ooh, that's lovely. Okay. Sometimes I get it right. Anyway. Gorgeous. I would love to know if you are one of my very earliest subscribers. Like I said, I've got 750-ish around now, and maybe by the time this video is published, I'll have even more. But have you been here from the very beginning? I know a couple of you because you're here, you comment, we chat in the comments. Some of you have messaged me over on Instagram, and I've got a couple of subscribers there that I chat with regularly. If you have been here from the very earliest point, do me a favor and leave a little hedgehog emoji in the comments, because I recognize a lot of your usernames, your handles, and I just love seeing the same names pop up again and again. I love chatting with you guys. You know what this reminds me of? Gourmand Girls, the shimmer. I'd have to compare those. I think I'll take Serpent now. Put that here. Anyway, leave a little hedgehog in the comments if you are one of my very earliest subscribers. If you remember way back when, and just for point of reference, in case you happen to remember, I'll go back in my own my own videos way back, and I'll put an insert in the screen here so you can see some of the very, very earliest ones. Maybe you remember them. I do remember that a couple of people found my videos. I'm thinking specifically when I talked about BH Cosmetics and their collab, was it with Iggy Azalea? They did like a plastic themed collab, and it was so wholly inappropriate. Like the photos were like, you know, and it was just gross. And I was so turned off that I just didn't go to their website for several months until I knew that it would be out of my line of sight. I remember talking about BH Cosmetics and how disappointed I was in their brand, because they were very good quality eyeshadow and they were very affordable. So no doubt they had a younger audience, people who couldn't afford Natasha Denona or to shop at Sephora, teenagers and younger girls and young adult women. And I thought, this is the visual message that we're sending these girls. Anyway, it was quite the soapbox video, and one or two of you guys found me through that video, and then I remember you saying in the comments that you went back to watch earlier videos because you so resonated, like we agreed on things. And so, you know, a few of you are very, very early. So I would love to know if you've been here from like the beginning, and I appreciate you so much because, again, those early videos were not very good. They were just, they were something. Here's the other Lure palette. This is my shade Seafoam. It's my palette pull-in. It's a lovely, kind of like a mint and grass green combined, and it's a matte. So what I'm gonna do is I'll put this on my whole lower lash line, I think. Right now it's not gonna work at all with this look. It's gonna be such a weird contrast. It's like a pastel candy shop sort of green. Honestly, it's kind of gross with these other colors. But I think that I'll be able to make it work. So, that is in my eye. Powder in my eye. Just out of curiosity, I'm just gonna bring this fully on the lower lash line all the way to the inner corner. I really wanna see what this unearthly shimmer will look like on top of this weird green blue. And don't get me wrong, this is a beautiful color. It's just weird with the rest of the look. It's kind of not working right now. That's okay. Here's the true test to see if I kind of know what I'm doing. Now with a flat brush, I'm going back into Cerberus. I'm gonna deepen this outer area, smoke it out a little bit. Now I don't want the black to carry down too far, but I have a blending brush. It looks like this. It's very thin, quite wispy and fluffy, and it's also kind of like it's pinched in sort of a half moon shape, so it's curved with an indent. And so what I do is I angle the half moon indent to match the curve of my eye. And I'm just gonna softly buff this area. So I'm dragging that black down a little bit. It's kind of turning gray because it's mixing with the very white base of that other Lure of the Lost one. What shade was it? It's mixing with the white base of the Seafoam shadow. So it's going all gray here. And then I'm going to intensify it a little bit more black right here. Now finally, with quite a small blending brush, this is a real precision brush, I'm gonna take Medusa, which is the green shimmer in this Lure palette. And I wanna spray this shade because I don't want any fallout. I'd like it to stay where I put it. Here's Medusa, and I'm gonna put this on my inner corner, laying it on top of the Seafoam shade. And I'll just kind of let it peter off into my mattes about the middle of my eye. So Seafoam is there, and it's creating an interesting under base, an interesting foundation for the colors I've put on top of it. But because it's such a weird color to work with the rest of these, I needed to alter it a little. And so having it as a foundation gives me that point of interest, but it's not totally destroying the actual eye look that I had planned. This is so good. This palette is so good. Oh. I don't want Medusa to go all the way over, so I'm gonna go back into that flat brush I'd use for the black. Just kind of go back and forth right here so that they blend into each other. Yep. I'm gonna make sure I clean off that brush on my napkin because otherwise I'll get sparkle out here when I do the other eye. And now all that remains is this inner corner. What should I do for the inner corner? I mean, I could carry Serpent over. Should I do that? I don't know. I might get a light matte from somewhere else in my collection just to finish this inner corner. I really love a matte inner corner. And while these shimmers are fantastic, I just want a little bit of matte right up here. You know what I mean? And none of the mattes in either of these palettes are light enough. I'm gonna finish the other side and I'll be right back. I did decide to grab an inner corner highlight. I took the Hella palette from Udenzai and Angelica, and I grabbed Rebirth. It's an excellent inner corner highlight. She uses it all the time. Of course she would, it's her palette. For my eye look, to finish it off, I put a green in the waterline. This is a light metallic from ColourPop. It's all worn off, but I'm completely sure it's called a glow. And then I just have mascara on. For my lips, I'm wearing this Italia Deluxe 1042 Dusty Rose, and I have the ColourPop glowing lip in the shade Candy Kisses. And then I have more ColourPop actually. This is the No Vacancy Super Shock Cheek, and for a highlighter I have my Aurora Glow Kit from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I used, which one? This one right here. It's called Eclipse. So that's everything else for the look. I would love to hear your thoughts. Of course, I'll pop up a close-up so you guys can see, but I just had to take a little detour because when I was looking at, especially the pink shimmer, it reminded me so much of my Haunted palette from Gourmand Girls. I want to compare the formulas. I want to compare the colors. So I'm specifically thinking this one right here. This is called Jinxed. And I'm going to compare that to Sphinx. Jinx and Sphinx. Just upon touching the two of them, Sphinx is more grainy feeling, but here's Jinx and here's Sphinx. Okay, they're definitely different. They definitely are a different formula as well. The Gourmand Girls is a little smoother, and Unearthly seems to be a tiny bit more textured, but these two were just reminding me of each other, and I thought it would be worth swatching. I know that there are some brands out there that have the exact same formulation as other brands. They're made in the same factory and it's just different labeling. I don't know a lot about private labeling, but I know that that's a thing. I was really just curious to see how this shimmer, like particularly that pink shimmer, compared, because it felt like I was wearing Gourmand Girls when I had this finished eye look. Anyway, they're definitely different, so I would say that they at least are not a, you know, same recipe situation. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. I really hope you've enjoyed today's video and today's look. Remember to leave a little hedgehog in the comments below if you are one of my very first subscribers, like the first 100 or so. There are some names that I know go way back, and I really appreciate you so much for giving me some of your time and for letting me sit here and entertain you and talk about eyeshadow, and for putting up with all my silliness and my terrible videography skills, especially way back then. You know, it's just it's been a fun journey, and I'm enjoying it, and I hope you are too. So perhaps you'll consider liking and subscribing if you haven't done so yet and you would like to see more content like this. Be sure to check the description box for other information, links, etc., and I will see you in my next video. Bye.